hearts to the heartless, cause being an artist is my only catharsis. All about compassion, all about the passion, all about the lyrics.
Hello and welcome to Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas. Despite last week's setbacks, we'll kind of refrain from talking about the FA Cup. We'll talk a little bit more about transfers. But there was a lot of crazy things again going on in the Premier League this week. A lot of them not helping me in any way, shape, or form. We'll go over that later. Unless you want to start with that.
Well, if you want to, we can start with that. That way you can get it out of the way. And
get it out of the way.
Okay,
let's do that.
What we're talking about is Chelsea and how the mighty have fallen. Last week, 3-0 to Bournemouth. I'm like, okay, they had a bad day. Everybody has bad days. I mean, even players like as good as Chelsea, but man, when they come up, going down 4-1 at Watford, that's 2 weeks in a row that they've just been slayed. That's a big deal. That's not good.
I wasn't able to watch that full game live, but I got home and it was 1-0 to Watford still, and I saw Chelsea score that goal. I was like, we're gonna get some points out of this. We're not gonna fall as far behind Liverpool. We're still gonna stay up there. And then my world just got pooped on.
And then
I wanted to cry.
It happened.
It was just a.
And I don't know. I watched the match, and I don't know if I can put my finger on one thing that was just not going right for Chelsea. I mean, David Luiz was back in the back four.
I think the fact that he's been out for so long is hurting him, because he got benched a while back, and they lost Andres Christensen for a while, and they haven't. I guess David Luiz hasn't been able to play at the caliber that he's been able to play at for years now, and I think that's age. He's been playing for years now, but Andres Christensen is a younger guy. He's got that, the young blood that you need in a team, and David Luiz unfortunately isn't able to provide with that.
He's still one of my favorite defenders. I mean, the guy is absolutely rock solid, and I'm not saying he had a bad day. I think everybody had a bad day. Watford really found a way to contend with the movement and creativity of Eden Hazard, and really kind of shut him down. The goal that they scored, I saw him in that space. I was like, I know what's coming. And I think everybody who watched that match knew what was coming, and it was brilliant. But they found a way to really kind of contain him a little bit. And the fact that Watford now has De La Feu, they've got a little more creativity, going down the sides.
Speaking of De La Feu, props to him to come in, first big test for Watford with him on the side, and him just absolutely outperform everybody.
I think he did too. And he actually, I read, he made a statement the other day that he was going to try everything he knew. He was going to try really, really hard. He's going to work really, really hard because he wants to stay as a starter. He wants to earn his spot as a starter. And I think he did that, yesterday. I think he did that during that match. I hope he continues it. I mean, he's a creative player, and I think that helped Watford out a lot.
And in the, I guess in the recording you won't see. We talked about how his transfer, could be, a little detrimental to him, because he's dropping Barcelona quality side, top level team, to Watford, who's obviously not necessarily top quality. But he took it in stride. He came in, he's like, "Sup, I'm here. We're gonna wreck some shops." And they did. Yeah. They absolutely did.
Yeah, and I think they had fun. I mean, it looked like Troy Deeney was even enjoying himself. during that match.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Unfortunately, he was enjoying himself a little too much for my pleasure.
I mean, coming off of that high dogs. Let's just hold on. We can edit this out a little bit. All right, back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With Watford coming off of a tough draw at Stoke last week, and Deulofeu did okay. He was trying, and I think we talked about that before. He was trying.
And
they just weren't used to. Holy crap! We're going to get some serious quality crosses coming in. We're going to get some imagination. And I think
that's exactly what sides like Watford, obviously lower table, are missing most of the time. Is they're missing some sort of, like you said, imagination. They need something to help them get creative with it, which is exactly why I love the game, is because you can. It's such a creative game. There's so many things you can do.
And they're not lower table. I mean, they're in 11th place. So they're
about mid-table.
But we've talked about this before. What is it? Let's see, 27 points for West Ham in 12th place. Huddersfield is in 19th with 24 points.
Exactly. Again, another thing we talked about in the last recording.
It's 3 points from 12th place to the relegation zone. 3 points. So I mean, the bottom half of the table. They're all technically at this point still fighting for their Premiership. I mean, any one of them at this point can be relegated at any time. And that's, we've talked about that. That's what makes this league and the relegation promotion system so exciting. I mean, even the top 5 or top 6 aren't sorted yet. I mean, City, something really crazy is going to have to happen for City to not walk away with the league.
They are currently 13 points ahead of second place Manchester.
Yeah.
It's just, but speaking of City, they did drop points this week.
They did. Yes.
They did drop points to Burnley of all teams, which, surprisingly enough, Burnley is usually, the team that you find in the bottom half of the table, currently in 7th right now.
Yeah, and Sean Dyche has got his team working though. I mean, they're organized, and they're playing some pretty good football. They're not, I don't think they're the class that City and United and Chelsea play. I'll even Liverpool. I'm a supporter of Liverpool, but still kind of inconsistent. And that's just the curse of Merseyside, I think.
Well, I think the biggest thing that Burnley has going for them right now is the fact that they're not playing, elegant football like a lot of top teams play. They're playing the scrappy football. Right. They're fighting for everything, and a lot of some of the top teams can't handle stuff like that. They struggle with it.
And I agree.
In fact, see, they round up the top 7. I know 7's kind of a weird number, but you've got your top teams: City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Arsenal. And then right after that, you've got Burnley. That's not usually a name that you say, in those class of teams. It's usually something, like Everton. Everton's usually up there in that spot. And, right now it's Burnley of all teams, which is insane.
And talking about Everton, what happened there? I mean, come on, that was 5-1 at the Emirates.
I still think it should have been 4-1.
Yeah.
I don't think that Aubameyang goal should have counted.
I don't think so either.
Congrats to him to come in, get his first goal. Assist from Mkhitaryan, another new player for Arsenal.
I was really impressed.
They both came in the transfer window. I think because he said that playing for Arsenal has always been a dream of his, and I think he's realizing that dream, and he's again taking it with stride. he's taking grasp of it and just running with it. Which is, I mean, why you dream of playing for Arsenal? I don't know.
Well,
If it's a dream, go with it.
So and the thing is that match. I mean, Mkhitaryan had a really good game. I was impressed with him. He had 3 assists. He had a fantastic game. I mean, 3 assists. Ramsey had the hat trick, but I think man of the match for me was Henry Mkhitaryan. I thought he was the guy who was the most creative and put together more chances for that. I mean, with Aubameyang, his goal to me was offsides, but listen, it is what it is.
Unfortunately, you can't go back and change that. I mean, once the call is made, the call is made, and that's another thing that a lot of people want video refereeing for is to catch stuff like that, because I realize it's 5-1, that only would have made it 4-1, but in like closer games, like the Tottenham Liverpool game this week.
Yeah.
I mean, a video referee could have made the difference in that game, which would have distributed points and
Absolutely.
possibly changed the way the league works.
And there's a lot of controversy over that because of both of those penalties. Now I watched and I've watched a couple of different commentaries on it. I've read some commentary on it, and I mean there's a lot of controversy. There's both sides, and with the first one, was he offsides? It could have been. However, but if I actually listened to someone had some really good audio of John Moss talking to the assistant referee, and the assistant referee was like, listen, if Dejan Lovren touched that ball, he's not offsides. And if you go back and you look at that video, Dejan Lovren did touch the ball. And apparently the way the law is written, if a defender touches the ball, it doesn't say he has to make a good clearance. It doesn't say he has to do exactly what he's intending to do, because obviously Dejan Lovren intended to do more than just touch it. I mean, it literally just kind of scooted across the top of his foot. But that immediately plays Harry Kane onside. Now,
yes,
okay,
it does.
So that being said, fine. I'll give him the fact that he's onside, because yes, I looked at the video, and to me, even as a Liverpool supporter, Dejan Lovren did make contact with the ball. But Loris Karius did not make contact with Harry Kane at all. And that's where the real controversy comes in. Okay, so Harry Kane was onside.
That's where the penalty was given.
That's where the penalty was given. And that was the whole the conversation between John Moss and the assistant referee. I forget his first name. His last name was Smart. And he was saying, listen, if Dejan Lovren touched the ball, Harry Kane's onside. But the thing that really bothers me a lot is the fact that John Moss said, his exact words were, I have no idea if Lovren touched that ball. Chuck it. I'm awarding the penalty.
And see, that's the problem right there. You're exactly right. Because you're not supposed to give calls like that unless you have definitive proof. Unless you can definitively say, yes, that is a penalty. That's how that's supposed to work. If you have no idea that Dejan Lovren touched that ball, you got to call the offsides.
Exactly.
You're supposed to call the offsides in that situation, and he didn't. He failed to do that.
And he even asked,
which, again, the video refereeing can change that. Yes. Had they had the ability to go back and look at it for a second, like actually Lovren did touch that ball. He wasn't offsides. But they also would have looked back at the penalty. Right. And they would have seen that it should not have been a penalty. Now, was this the one that he missed or the one he made?
That's the one he missed. That's the first one.
I mean...
Well, he didn't miss it. So, Loris Karius saved it, and then it got buried. But yeah, it was the first one. The second one, Virgil van Dijk made zero contact with anyone.
I do remember seeing a GIF of that come out about how just the fact that
and as a soccer player, I can honestly tell you that I have never been kicked, pushed, stepped on anything that forces me to jump up in the air and land on my knees. And the way these guys go down in the box, that's exactly what they do. They jump up in the air and then land. I have a bruise the size of the palm of my hand on the top of my right foot from playing soccer on Sunday where I got stepped on. And I didn't fall down. I didn't jump up in the air. And it's just those kind of things. I mean, these referees, these are intelligent guys. They have to know that they're being played. And I've had conversations with other people about stuff like this. And it's not just this match. It's not just, the fact that, Liverpool lost 2 points on the table because of, well, in my opinion, they lost 2 points. Of course, Tottenham fans are going, oh, no. But the fact of the matter is that, you got guys like, Raheem Sterling. You got guys like Sergio Aguero. You got guys like Olivier Giroud. Who, I mean, if you breathe on these guys the wrong way, they fall down so easily. And the way they fall down is so unnatural. These referees have to know you have just been played. They instituted new rules at the beginning of the season, and I don't remember who it was that got penalized.
Which is exactly what I was talking about. It was an Everton player that got severely penalized.
He's got a 3-game
and they haven't done anything else with the rest of the season.
Yeah. And that was week one.
If they start harshly following that rule, it'll stop.
Yeah.
But they're not. They did the one time, I guess apparently is trying to do like a scare tactic, and it didn't work, and now they're too afraid to start banning more players. Yeah. For who God knows why.
Yeah.
I mean
if
they're just
if you want to see how a player should go down when he gets fouled, watch Eden Hazard. This guy is the most fouled player in the league, and it's because he's on the ball a lot, and just the way he moves. He's so fast and he's so creative and he's so tricky.
And I'm not gonna lie, as a Chelsea fan, he does dive quite a bit.
I don't know.
There are a few.
I don't know. I'm not accusing him of diving. I'm just saying that when he goes down like he just got tripped, or he goes down like someone just kicked his kneecap. He doesn't jump up in the air and then fall down, and that's what a lot of these guys do. They jump up and their feet go out behind them. Listen, if you got kicked from behind, your feet aren't going back behind you. And that's what happened in the box on that second penalty at the Liverpool-Tottenham match. I want to say it was Eric Lamela. And Eric Lamela is one of my least favorite players ever anyway. Just because he came on Tottenham at 18 years old, and this kid thought he had just won the universe and had the chip on his shoulder to go along with it. And I'm just glad they hacked him down a little bit. But looking at that, and I've watched video after video after video, and I don't see any contact between him and Virgil van Dijk at all. Zero. And even the PGMOL has come out and said that should not have been awarded as a penalty. There is no foul that occurred. Mark Clattenburg made an official statement. Now, he's not part of any refereeing or officiating anything. He's not a referee anymore. But this guy, Mark Clattenburg, was the referee for the Premier League for a long time.
Mark Clattenburg's not a referee anymore? When did that happen?
2 years ago. He left for Qatar or something like that. Came back for one match and then retired.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
but
right.
he made a statement the other day. He goes,
I thought you meant like he was just done completely.
No, he's just not in the Premier League anymore. But he made a statement the other day saying there's no way I would have awarded either one of those penalties at all. And the fact with the first one, the way John Moss handled it, I mean, the PGMOL said he was very, their statement on that was he was misinformed. Because even during the conversation with the assistant referee, Smart, he actually asked Martin Atkinson, who was the fourth official, Martin, do you see anything on the TV? And the PGMOL said, I don't know why he would ask that, because video assistant referee was not eligible for that match. So even if Martin Atkinson had said, oh yeah, I'm watching the TV right now, and whatever his decision was, it shouldn't have stood, because video assistant referee is not something that they get to institute at will. It's something that the FA says, yeah, we're going to use this for this match. And it wasn't.
And because it's still in majority in testing phase. It's a big thing in Germany right now. And I believe there was an official statement recently that it will be used in the World Cup this summer.
And I'm fine with it. I have no problems with the video
I'm
system.
absolutely okay with it. It's perfect. I mean, they recently integrated the goal line technology.
Yeah.
And while that is rarely used, when it is used, it can change games.
Sure.
Yeah,
You know, and video assistant.
I believe it's changed a few.
The way I watched an interview with Mark Clattenburg a couple weeks ago, and the way the video assistant referee is designed to work is, you know, somebody not isn't going to say, oh, you know, hey, John Moss, you need to go look at, you know, or what they're supposed to do is say, listen, you need to have another look at this. It's not going to make the decision. The center referee still has final jurisdiction. He's going to be able to, someone's going to say, listen, maybe you want to take a closer look at that. You might want to take a look, you know, did Dejan Lovren touch the ball? Did Loris Karius make contact with Harry Kane? You might want to look at that before you make your final decision. And then he goes over and he looks at the TV screen. They give him a couple of different angles. He sees what everybody else is seeing in the slow-mo replays and things like that. Oh, Dejan Lovren did touch the ball, so Harry Kane was on sides, but I don't see where Loris Karius made contact with the striker, so there's no penalty. So it should would have been, but at that point, it's still John Moss's decision to make. That's how VAR is supposed to work. VAR is not going to override the center referee. It's going to be just another couple of sets of eyes from different angles, and that's why, and that's how it's been working in the Bundesliga, and with the matches I've watched with the VAR, it doesn't add any time. I mean, they said that all the times they've used it, it adds about a minute to the decision making, which isn't terrible in the grand scheme of things. So
again, a lot can happen in a minute, but I mean, rarely does it hugely affect, you know, the end of a game.
Yeah, and they can still add that on as extra time, you know, in stoppage time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not like they're, you know, like, oh my gosh, you know, now this 90-minute game is going to take, you know, 2 hours and 20 minutes. You know, that's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, now a 90-minute game is going to take you 91 minutes. You know, and you got a better game, result. You know.
Exactly. I mean, that game just was especially huge because it was a battle between two top teams.
Yeah.
Obviously Tottenham is a little bit lower than Liverpool right now on the table.
They're
Liverpool
fifth,
really needed the points to. Oh yeah, but I mean, obviously Liverpool wants to get those points so they can stay in contention for Champions League. Just obviously they're in it this year, and obviously you want to be in it next year. It's a huge thing to be in, especially for English teams, because this year there's actually still 5 left of the 8. You've got City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham are all 5 left in the Champions League right now.
Yeah.
And it's a huge thing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That 5 of the 8 teams are English teams.
Mm-hmm. As of recording this today, there's the 3 FA Cup replays. We'll go over those next week. Is there any other, I guess the Brighton and Hove Albion, you know, it's a big win for Brighton.
Yeah.
You know, 3-1. Glenn Murray, 8th minute. Let's go Hammers. See this side right here.
Yep. We got the Hammerheads scarf up here. You know, Port City firm. Hammers till I die. That was a good game. I don't know if you saw. I know you're, as a goalkeeper and as a Chelsea fan, I did see some news about David De Gea possibly going to Real Madrid.
I did see that.
Joe Hart going possibly to Chelsea as a backup. I don't know about that. I thought that was it was just a little blurb I saw, you know, that hey, maybe Joe Hart might be going to Chelsea as a backup for Thibaut Courtois. I don't know, but yeah, De Gea going to Real Madrid. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of rumors that maybe Courtois could be going to Real Madrid. Apparently, Real Madrid has made a lot of inquiries for both him and Eden Hazard.
Really? Wow.
Which was, I saw something the other day. Apparently, in England they did a poll with Chelsea fans. Would you rather win the Champions League and lose Eden Hazard and N'Golo Kante to transfers? Would you rather win the Premier League and lose Thibaut Courtois to transfer? Or would you rather receive a transfer ban so you can't and win nothing? And it was like 50% of the Chelsea fans they interviewed replied with, "Oh yeah, we'd rather have a transfer ban so we don't lose any of our players." And as a Chelsea fan myself, that's just stupid. I mean, players come and go.
Right. Yeah, and that's part of the game.
That's how the game works.
Part of the game. Yeah, that's how you improve a team. That's how you improve a player. Even with Chelsea has a boatload of players always out on loan, and it's because they have players that they know are going to be top
like
level.
40 this transfer window.
Yeah, and out of their different levels, out of the academies and out of the U23s and stuff like that. But that's how you improve a player. You transfer them, you send them out on loan, things like that. If you just lock everybody in, now you've got just a certain number of players that you have eligible to put on the pitch, come off the bench, things like that. And I don't think that's the greatest decision. But hopefully the Chelsea management is smart enough to not say, "Oh, let's listen to what the fans said and do that."
Yeah, I hope not.
I think they're a little bit more intelligent than that.
I guess one last little piece of more Chelsea news. Is Antonio Conte on his way out? Repeated interviews.
I'm hearing
he's had,
more rumors that he is gone.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things where he's coming out as like, "No, I'm not worried about my position. I'm gonna stay the coach. Everything's gonna be fine."
I think he.
But
should
there's a lot of
start to
rumors. There's actually one rumor that came out today as we're recording this that maybe Luis Enrique, former Barcelona boss, could take over the spot very, very soon.
Yeah.
Which I would be happy about because obviously I'm a Barcelona fan. Wrong way. There we go. I always liked Luis Enrique. He won a lot of trophies with Barca. The reason for him leaving was just because it's such a big club. He was too overwhelmed with a lot of stuff, and so he left simply because he actually was like, I got too stressed. Like I couldn't handle some of the stuff that was going on, and so I left to better the team. And I completely respect that.
Sure.
But
sure.
if maybe him coming to England, that's a lot of former La Liga managers that are now managing in England. I mean, you've got Pep Guardiola, also another former Barca.
Yeah.
That
and is doing really well. I mean, his plan is really working out.
And it's one of those things. I hope it happens. As of right now, I'm not happy with Antonio Conte.
Well, and I think there's something's suddenly not working. When Antonio Conte first came to Chelsea, it was pretty amazing because with Jose Mourinho, obviously something was broken really, really badly.
Yes.
He lost a dressing room, as they say. I think is what happened, and then Antonio Conte came in, kind of fixed all those fractures. And they were humming.
Took the league by storm.
Yeah, they were humming. Chelsea was in the relegation zone when Jose Mourinho left, and turned around and won the league. Now Antonio Conte, I don't think he has his players where he wants them, and I think they're not happy. They're still, I think, doing their best. I just think something's broken. Something's broken, and he doesn't have the tools to fix it, I think.
Another problem that's happening is in the transfer window that closed recently, they brought in a couple players, but the players they brought in weren't the players that usually play for Chelsea. Chelsea has always been known for young blood. They've always got like one of the youngest teams in the league.
Yeah.
They're bringing in older players like Olivier Giroud. It doesn't seem like, I guess, classic Chelsea to me, and I don't think it's working out the way that they thought it was. And that Giroud transfer was almost rushed, because for some reason they were struggling to find a striker. And I don't understand why. I mean, you've got plenty of attackers. You know, you've got Pedro, you've got William, you've got Eden Hazard, you've got Alvaro Morata. You mean that's 4 huge attackers right there, and then you've also got a lot of young guys that, you know, I guess aren't getting the playing time that I think they deserve.
Well, and then they're sending guys like Michy Batshuayi out on loan. You know.
Exactly. Oh my God. And then,
who had a
first
fantastic debut.
Like, come on. I mean, he went to Dortmund, got 2 goals.
2 goals and 3 assists, I think.
Something like that. It was just ridiculous.
2 goals and an assist.
It was like, come on.
Yeah, it was great. You know, and I this is kind of make us both feel better, I think. Alexis Sanchez. I saw this was a cool little tidbit I found. Actually set a new Premier League record for the number of times to lose possession in a single match. 35 times he was caught in possession and lost it. 35 times. He smashed the record.
Against Huddersfield.
Yeah. He did not have a good game. And I think a lot of that is just the different playing styles. I mean, he's come from Arsenal, where their playing style is really short, crisp, precise passing, and United's not.
Well,
and I think that's lost in translation for them right now.
Well, if you remember, Alexis Sanchez, you know, he did play for Arsenal. He must be used to losing all the time. So, you know, I think coming to United it's a huge hit to him. Yeah. No, that's a joke.
Yeah, that's a joke. Gory Man United. Whatever. Danny Sturridge had his debut with West Brom. Yeah, he did okay. Really wasn't much in that match. I mean, it was 2-3. There were a lot of goals. And I did find out another neat little record tidbit. Gareth Barry for West Brom has the record for the most yellow cards in Premier League history. He's got 152 yellow cards in 651 matches. That's 1 every 5 games. Way to go, man. Way to go.
That is a lot. I mean, he's been playing in the Premier League for a long time.
He's got 651 appearances and 152 yellow cards. He got his 153rd actually the other day. So that was pretty cool. This is a little bit of excitement too, and then we'll start to kind of wind it down. But Riyad Mahrez. A lot of controversy in the transfer window. Riyad Mahrez going to City. Riyad Mahrez not going to City. Going to City. Not going to City. Apparently, he may still be leaving in the summer transfer window, and Leicester may be bringing in Thorgan Hazard.
Ooh, from Gladbach.
Yes. Riyad Mahrez did not. He's not been training with the team, and he did not play at all over the weekend with Leicester. So there's still a lot of rumors flying around about, is he leaving? He's not leaving. Obviously, he can't leave right now. Summer transfer window is not that far away. But yeah, that's the new rumor that he'll be leaving, probably going to City.
And it might be like another, I guess, kind of Diego Costa kind of situation, where like the transfer's made, and he's just got to wait.
Yeah, if you remember, that's not been confirmed at all, but.
Remember he was literally just on the sideline for a whole half of the season, waiting for the transfer window to come back open, so officially transfer.
Yeah, and then he played during the transfer window. Obviously, he wanted to showcase his abilities and his talents and things like that. But then whatever happened. There's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes in a transfer that it just didn't go through. But yeah, that's the new rumor that he in the summer may be going to City. And Thorgan Hazard maybe coming into Leicester into the Premier League from Bundesliga, which would be kind of cool because now the IU brothers are back together on the same team, and then you get the Hazard brothers playing in the same league. It'd be kind of fun to watch.
That's the end of our soccer segment. I got two announcements and then 2 special announcements that I have. First off, we have a friend of ours who he's a really good artist, and he's actually made these shirts that our producer Owen will put over my face right now. And then it's called the Sad Soccer Fan. It's a deflated soccer ball, because as an American, it's sad to see that the United States will not be getting into the World Cup this year. But obviously we'll still be watching it because we are soccer fans. And then second announcement, we have our own shirts now. There'll be a link in the description. It's just simple right now. Little logo in the top, see right corner if you're looking at the shirt straight on. And then I'm still working, hopefully by the time this video is up, be shirts with big logos on it, so just right in the center of the chest. And again, those will be a link in the description for both of those. And then special thank you to Macrophonic MC. He's a good friend of both of ours. He's the one that does our intro outro music. And then special thanks to Owen, who is a personal friend of mine.
Thanks, Owen.
He is our producer. He's the one who we send our videos to him. He edits them. He gets them up. And he's had a really bad time this past couple of days. He's been beating himself up because there's just the video files that we sent him. There's something wrong. He couldn't figure it out. But he's still doing his best. He's a good kid, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully this video will be up. I'm sure it will. He's pretty good at editing. He's done a lot of really good things on YouTube.
So thanks for watching, everybody.
I've seen personally.
We really
Thanks for
appreciate it.
watching.
This is fun for us. If you've got some constructive criticism, please leave them in the comments. Again, nothing derogatory. We're not going to engage it. We'll probably figure out a way to delete you and block you and all that good stuff. But constructive criticism we can always use. We're very amateur at this.
Yes, please.
So if you've got some ideas, help us out. What would you like us to talk about more? What do you want us to talk about less? Stuff like that. Because we're doing this for fun, but we want you to enjoy it as well. So thanks for watching Inside the Six with Ian and Thomas, and we will see you guys with some FA Cup updates and Week 27 very shortly.
Thanks, guys.
Being the artist is my only catharsis. Being the artist is my only catharsis. I don't drink, I barely smoke. I'm no joke.